Hello, lovely people, dearest friends. The birds are singing to me. I feel like the birds are singing. I don't know if y'all can hear. That makes me even more excited about today's video. We are going to be talking about some of my March garden plans. We're just gonna take like a walk through the garden. I'm gonna share with you some of my projects that I have in mind, some things I would like to get done, some things might have to get pushed back into April, but that is okay. But before we get into those March garden plans, I have something I'm really excited to share. I am published in the Black Girls Gardening book by Amber Grossman. This book has about 31 gardeners in it that have a personal essay talking about our love of gardening, plants, and it is filled with beautiful, absolutely gorgeous photography. I feel like this would make the perfect coffee table book. It pretty much embodies the platform that Amber Grossman runs, which is the Black Girls Gardening on Instagram, at Black Girls Gardening on Instagram. So it's pretty much a collection of that into a book. So if you are interested in grabbing you one, I will make sure to link it in the description and in the comments. But let's go ahead and get started in the March garden plans. It feels so good out here, but it's also raining off and on. Of course it is. But first, let's start with the kitchen garden entrance. I need to do some mulching and some weeding. The mulch doesn't look too bad actually. And then some weeds, I've started weeding, but there's definitely some more areas that need some more work. And you can see the tulips that I planted starting to come up. So that is definitely a good sign. Yay. So mulching the kitchen garden entrance is one thing that I want to do this month. Also, probably figure out if I want to do like a spring garden display. I did one last year. I don't know. I don't like doing the same things repeatedly. I kind of want to switch it up a bit. So I don't know. The things right here are still the things that I planted in the fall. We have some violas or pans. I always get them mixed up. I want to say they're violas. I think they're violas. Planted right here from October. We had pumpkins here. It was really cute. So it hasn't been changed from that. So I need to work on that. All right, I am moving right along. And as far as my arbor is concerned, I might plant this wisteria that I've had sitting in this pot right here. This is the amethyst wisteria. I feel like it'll look good with the rose, but then again, I'm not 100% sure. I might just want to plant more roses right here. And I honestly don't know how this is going to hold up to this rose right here because it's going to get pretty huge. It's funny because I've transplanted this rose twice. So three times I've dug this rose up and moved it into a different spot. And it seems to still be cooperating with me. Thank you, Rose, for still growing and producing beautiful blooms. Sometimes it's hard for me to make up my mind, and I end up moving a plant several different times before I come up with a concrete spot for it. But I think for now, I wouldn't say concrete, but I think for now this rose is perfect here, and we're gonna have some beautiful white blooms coming over, and then maybe meeting the wisteria. I'm not 100% sure yet. I guess we'll see. But let's move right along through the arbor to this first bed, the strawberry bed. All right, so I know the strawberry bed is a mess. I will be cleaning it up this month. I have a lot of brown leaves to remove, some weeds that have gotten in this bed, alongside transplanting these runners that you can kind of see probably around the sun right there. You can see them everywhere. So we are going to be propagating, transplanting the runners into pots because I'm not 100% sure where I want them to go yet. I'm debating between putting them alongside a raised bed on the edge, so when the strawberries are producing, they cascade down. I feel like that'll look really pretty. Or we'll try the green stalk tower again. I'm not 100% sure, but as we progress into the month, I should have a better idea on that. And let me show you the spot where the camera is sitting. Let's switch places. Okay, I keep looking at my tablet because I took a bunch of notes on what I wanted to get done this month. And for this area, it's blank. And I've said before that I've been struggling. For some reason, I struggle to grow things in this spot. I don't know why. Tried to plant zinnias, tried to do sunflowers. It just doesn't work out. So I'm debating on turning it into like a chatty garden corner. I was thinking of getting like an egg chair and maybe like a little side table and maybe a few containers of flowers around it, just so I can have like a nice cozy spot to chat with y'all. What do y'all think about that? I think that sounds really fun. I've been wanting an egg chair, or like a variation of egg chair, for a while, but I'm also debating between getting like a hammock for this spot, but pretty much like creating a cozy, chatty spot that I can sit and reflect on the month of how the month went and break it down and all the things. Something like that. My chatty garden corner for filming purposes. I wouldn't want the egg chair to stay out here, so I'd probably get something that's easy for me to move back and forth, just because I don't want it to mess up in the elements. So we'll see, y'all. We'll see. But let's move on to this next bed over here. So the ranunculus, unfortunately, have been struggling. I think it's because of the weird weather we've been having. It's been jumping up all the way to 70 something, and then it dips back down to below freezing. So I feel like they've kind of become stagnant and not putting on any more growth. A lot of the leaves are browning, they're yellow. So I don't even know. And I hate to give up on it, but my mind is like, okay, this ranunculus isn't working. What are we gonna put in here next? And I'm thinking that I'm going to convert this into like a warm season vegetable bed. Maybe we'll do some peppers, definitely some petunias everywhere, maybe some tomatoes. Yeah, so that's what this bed is gonna be converting to. Cross our fingers that the ranunculus do. Maybe they'll start blooming. Maybe they'll put on more growth. I don't know. This is a wait and see bed, I guess. And this lovely bed, some of y'all probably remember that we did last year, and our daffodils are starting to come up and they're blooming. So this is absolutely wonderful. I know it looks gorgeous. It should look really pretty from the camera. Hopefully it does. But I am so excited to smell these and see these, get some more pictures, and I can tell that some of them have multiplied. Like there's one randomly not in the bunch. So that's the fun part about planting things that naturalize. You'll get more and more every single year. Very excited about this bed. As far as this bed is concerned, this is the bed where we planted those cool season vegetable seeds. So I have lettuce, carrots, Swiss chard, peas coming up. The peas are coming up. Nothing else is germinated yet, it looks like. I don't know, I think it's been slow, again, just like the ranunculus bed, because the weather just has been fluctuating from those freezing temps to really warm weather. It's been feeling like spring, but it hasn't been staying like that. It's been dipping. So maybe that's why this bed has been so slow. But I do have peas coming up, which is very fun. I see two. It looks like just two peas over here coming up. I planted a whole row right along this arbor. So the plan for this bed this month is just to keep it watered. And once things do germinate and they put on some growth, we'll just start a fish fertilizer regimen for it. But yeah, for now, just keeping it watered, hoping something comes up. Oh, I do see something as I'm saying that. Okay, so it does look like the lettuce. I just have to look really closely. Yeah, I see. The lettuce are starting to germinate, so perfect. Yeah, so just keeping this bed watered and fertilizing regimen once they put on some growth. Okay, so we have made it to my very messy greenhouse. Let's start with the seedlings. The plan with them is to hopefully pot them up as they begin to get their first true leaves. So we'll be conquering that this month. Right now, everything is being bottom watered. And I feel like things are looking good. I feel like things have been slow. I don't know. I'm really anxious for everything to get their first true leaves just so I can start potting things up, because I feel like once I pot seedlings up, they tend to take off because I put them on that fish fertilizer regimen, just like those other seedlings in that bed. And I want to add in more plants in the greenhouse, like the same thing that we did last year, and kind of spruce up the layout and the decor and how everything is looking, because right now it's really messy and it's empty and it's bland, and I feel like the greenhouse should be filled with lush, pretty plants all around. So that is one thing that we are going to talk about in the plant budget video that I'm going to be doing very soon. So stay tuned for my March plant budget video. Make sure you are subscribed and you have the bell notifications on so you don't miss when I do. But let's head out of the greenhouse and show you what else I have planned in the garden. This area right here along the fence, I think I want to grow my tomatoes here this year. I want to see how it looks. I feel like it'll look really nice. So to prepare for that, this month we need to kind of freshen the beds up, these grow bags have compost in them, and I just set them here because they're just going to go in here. And there's just a lot of weeding I need to do with these beds just to prepare them for the tomatoes. Yeah, so that's what's happening in this bed. This is just a planting mistake. So I need to move these 3 roses to a much better location. These huge trees are blocking it, unfortunately, but that happens. I think when we're first starting out, or even seasoned gardeners, we just make bad planting decisions, bad planting mistakes that we have to remedy. But luckily, I always move roses, so I feel like these should bounce back wherever they are and thrive in their new sunny location. I started mulching this area, and I'm just gonna finish mulching it and probably turn it into like a container garden type of area. I love growing things in containers, so it'll be nice to have a dedicated spot for that. And since we were on the topic of roses, I am going to be starting all of my roses on an early neem oil regimen. I usually see aphids growing on my roses around this time, but luckily I don't see any, which is perfect. So I'm going to make my neem oil solution and get all of my roses sprayed. This rose right here, get all these sprayed. So once they do start blooming, there will be no pesky aphids on them. Aphids are my nemesis, and for some reason, they absolutely love the roses. This plum tree looks so gorgeous. The blooms are absolutely beautiful. Wow, I love these blooms on here. Will we get plums this year? I'm not sure. I think this would be the year 3. I think this will be year 3 of having the plums in here. There's another one over there. So it'll be nice to be able to harvest some fruit this year. But as far as this space is concerned, where the table is, we're just gonna be weeding and mulching. Nothing fun, just weeding and mulching the area, which is the majority of the work that I need to do this month. And also just a lot of cleanup. Like I have random pots in different spots in the garden, just random decor just sitting out everywhere. It's chaos. It's utter chaos. So that is also on the list. General cleanup. But all of my plans for March aren't all about cleanup work and chores and stuff. I do want to put in more decor elements. I love this wind chime, and I'm thinking about putting like a hummingbird feeder here, because I believe the hummingbirds are going to start migrating soon. So it'll be nice to be able to catch some hummingbirds on camera. That's been a goal of mine for a while now, and I still haven't done it yet. So maybe we'll add like a hummingbird feeder in this spot, possibly. So that'll be really fun. I made my way to the front yard, and we've started moving these rocks to kind of bring out this bed a bit more. In this bed, I just have a bunch of roses that I found on clearance and hellebores and alliums. Not much going on in this bed, but I love how these rocks are looking. We still have more to move up here, so that's what we're gonna be doing this month. And I want to freshen up the front porch. I really want to repaint the door a different color. I want to freshen up the brick steps. You can see that the paint is just starting to come off. So I think I want to have this refreshed. And I don't know what color I want to paint the door yet. And as far as our huge fig tree, we are going to be cutting it down a little bit, just a little bit. It gets really, really big and it's hard to harvest all of the fruit way at the top of it. So once we do take cuttings, I think we're going to propagate them again. We took fig cuttings 2 years ago, propagated them, and it was quite successful. I feel like the amount we started, we still have about half of them survived, and they're in about like these. We have them in containers, and they're doing really well. So I want to get more cuttings of that. But I think that's all the things that I'm doing in the front yard this month. It is kind of messy. I have containers, again, I have containers everywhere in random spots. So I'm gonna clean that up, move that up. I don't know if I'm gonna plant anything under here. The fig tree covers this entire bed, so hardly any light gets under here. Even my impatiens, I planted impatiens a few years ago, and impatiens can thrive in partial shade, I think full shade, partial shade, and they didn't get huge. They didn't cover up the bed like I wanted to. So if I do plant something here, I'm gonna find something that thrives in completely full shade. But I do have hostas in this bed right here that are underground. I don't know, maybe we'll find something else to plant there. But that sounds like an April project. Yeah, I think that sounds more like an April project. And I'm starting to feel it raining, no. And of course, it is starting to rain. So that is gonna be all for this video. Stay tuned for that garden plant budget video. And be sure to purchase your Black Girls Gardening book. The link is in the description, and I will also drop it down in the comments. And let me know how you felt about this style of video. Would you want this to be a monthly thing? Just me walking around the garden, telling you what my tasks are for the month. It kind of helps my brain. And I feel like it'll kind of can be inspiration for somebody else, just in case you're not sure how to approach your gardening. You can see what I'm doing, what I'm doing for that month. But again, thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Trusting your instincts, realize that knowing looks different to each when living authentic.